Thank you, Robert. I want to add my greetings to the ones that Maureen already extended to all of you. It's a delight to be here. I want you to know that a speaker like me who doesn't speak very often has this concern that he will show up all by himself. So you guys have made my day. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. If you don't remember what day it is, there's a big clue up there. So if you are a father, or if you have a father or had a father, happy Father's Day. All right. So a grandfather says to his grandson, "How do you like the drum set we got you for your birthday?" And the little guy, maybe 10, he says, "Oh, Grandpa, I love it. It's awesome. What's your favorite thing about it?" "Whenever I don't play it, Dad gives me $20. Okay, thank you for laughing at that one. The next 4 slides are Father's Day cartoons, so let's just work our way through them gradually and so people have time to read them. If your kids are toddlers, it can sometimes feel like this, which is pretty darn nice. But as you get a little bit older, or as they get a little bit older, you can have some more challenging times. And by the time they get to be teenagers, it kind of adds depth to the adventures. And if you happen to be a minister like Reverend Julie, sometimes the outcomes from Father's Day can look a little bit like this. So all you fathers and other people, we expect you to come back next week when Reverend Julie comes back, okay? Well, that's all the jokes we found that we could share from this platform, so it must be time for me to talk. The focus for Father's Day messages suggested by CSL is the Father within. Envisioning is a spiritual tool that I've been wanting to talk about for some while, so I combined them into a talk with this title, Visioning and the Father Within. The CSL theme for the month of June is accountability, so we'll touch on that later in the talk. How many know what visioning is? A few of you. How many have experienced visioning at least once? Or more? Okay, good. Oh, good. I first became aware of it in 2009 when the January issue of Science Mind magazine had an article about visioning featuring Cynthia James. She did not write the article, what was written about her and her work with visioning. I was pretty engrossed or pretty impressed by the thing. I started a visioning journal at that time, and I've been using it ever since. I don't vision like daily. I vision every 2-3 months, whenever the urge comes, but I don't feel like I want to bother the divine every day or something, so I just do it occasionally. Anyhow, we have had an event.
It's okay.
It'll be okay, she says. I'm going to let it be. Okay. I come to think of visioning as a process that provides a way to teach us to listen. So many times when we're little people, we just talk to God and go away, and it kind of carries over into adulthood. We present our needs and our wishes, and we don't wait for a response. We think that it's supposed to somehow magically happen sometime when we're ready, sort of thing. So this is a process that helps us focus on listening. In a mid-2009 workshop on visioning, another minister gave a nice definition. Visioning is a spiritual practice, a dialogue that combines prayer and meditation. It helps us access things that we already know, but may not remember that we know. It can be used to address problems. Life is always presenting us with some challenge or another. But as you know, problems can sometimes morph into opportunities. And visioning helps us see that. Or we can just seek inspiration in more general ways. How to bring more love or joy or prosperity or patience into your life. And a visioning session doesn't have to be personal. We could collectively seek Spirit's highest vision for our center of spiritual living here in Castle Rock, for example. So let's look into the visioning process and see a little bit how it works. The article about Reverend Cynthia says, before you even start the process, you need to prepare yourself. Reverend Cynthia says, you begin by attuning to the fact that there's unity, harmony, and oneness in the universe. And you're connected to the unity, harmony, and oneness. The essence of visioning is love. So she says, you anchor yourself in unconditional love. Once you center yourself in unconditional love and feel relaxed, then you're ready to begin. Typically, visioning involves the visioner asking 6 questions. To help you be clear while you're moving through the process, it's very helpful to write down the purpose of the visioning and try to be precise in your thinking. This is what I want to have some feedback, some input about. Because this first question is going to be the foundation for the whole session. We'll get into that in just a minute. Write down the purpose. The questions 2 through 6 are pretty much standard, but you can modify them to suit your own needs. Let's take a look at the typical set of 6 questions. Question 1. What is God's highest vision for, guess who fills in the blank? The one doing the visioning. You do. I do. Okay. Again, be clear about what you're asking for guidance about, because it just helps the whole process move smoothly. Obviously, you don't have to use the word God. It was in the article, so I used it when I first began. You can use whatever name you want. Spirit, divinity, presence with a capital P, and so on. The response to your question will come in the way you're best suited to receive. As a writer, I always seem to get mostly words. I know other people who see visions or colors or hear music or have deep feelings. Intuition has got a lot of faces, and each of us seems to be tuned to a particular way to receive. So that's how it's going to show up for you. After you say aloud that first question, just sit there in a meditative state. Don't let your mind get wound up about, geez, I don't hear anything. Oh my, oh my. As soon as you start being anxious about it, you're getting in the way of that flow. So just relax. Take some time. If nothing happens, so be it. Let it go. Come back to it later and just do something else for a while. But Spirit will respond, and if we don't feel like we're receiving a response, it's not that we're being ignored, it's that we're just too uptight or too focused on the process instead of the question. Okay? So who is it that we're asking for guidance from? This one that Jesus referred to as the Father within. It's whoever you believe God to be. You're addressing the God of your understanding. using whatever language feels right in your heart to address this being. Okay? So the second question typically is something like this. What is the feeling, tone, or essence of this vision? You're the one that answers this question. What does it feel like to you? To you. I must say, though, I've had experiences when Spirit added something to my response. Third question. What must I become to empower this vision? Divinity will answer this one. And the fourth question, what must I release or surrender to be an open space for this vision? What do I have to do to get myself out of the way is what we're basically asking. Divinity will answer that. Fifth question, what must I embrace to allow this vision? Again, divinity will respond. It's basically, divinity's guidance provides the vision and then provides you with the action things you must take on within yourself to open the space for this whole thing to unfold. That's what all these 5 questions are about that follow the first question. And the last question is sort of the loose ends question. I have found marvelous things to show up here. My initial questions don't often don't leave the space for divinity to complete its message to you. So you ask divinity, is there anything else I need to know? What are the next steps? And divinity will answer that. And when you feel the session is complete, don't get up and go do something that feels urgent. Sit for a minute. Just consider the responses. What do they mean to you? How is this going to help you move forward into fuller expression of who you are? To help you understand or see the power that visioning can unleash in your life, I'm going to review 2 visioning conversations from my own experience. I'm feeling uneasy about this, just so you know, but it feels too Foster focused, but I don't know a better way to let you see how visioning can be a tremendous blessing to your life. Both these conversations happened in practitioner training or during that time frame, so it's been a while, but these 2 sessions have felt timeless. They've stayed with me. They guide me all the time, it seems like, but ever since then. I still read them often from my journal during my quiet time. The first was in February of 2010, about halfway through the first year, and the second was in April of 2011, when I'm almost done with prac training. The responses provided me with a really uplifting picture of who I am and why I'm here in this life. So while you look at that pretty picture, I will go through those sessions. I want to point out that there are not yet, or that are pink tones that aren't really showing up on the projector as much as they do in the original picture. And they're not part of the iris at all. It's the sunset colors shining through the iris. We're a lot like that. We may be a beautiful being in our own right, but when the light shines through us, it adds things that really make it special. So from February 2010, this is my visioning session. What is God's highest vision for how I am to embody oneness and serve the world from that foundation? The response: continue to follow the pathway you are on. Embrace practitioner training. It is a fine beginning. Embrace lifelong communion with God. I am not interested in being worshiped as a being outside of you. Embrace me and allow me to embrace you. Commune in the oneness that we are. Contemplate and meditate on me daily, yes, even continually. Let communion with God be your most intimate life foundation. It is your nature. Allow it to be. Center yourself on me always. Always hold in consciousness that you are the flow of divinity. Take action as God guides you. Trust your intuition. Act upon it. At that point, it almost felt complete, but Spirit kept going. Planet Earth and the life it holds are the garden of God. Eden is here and now. Commune with Mother Earth. Let your love for her be intimate. With the help of your parents, Mother Earth is your mother. Love her deeply as she loves you. That has been a cornerstone of how I see myself in this life ever since. What is the feeling, tone, or essence of this vision? My response, a lush garden of flowers together with me in communion with God, just being present together. What must I become to empower this vision? Nothing beyond what you already are. We have prepared you for this work from your first beginning. You are my hands, my mind, my heart. Trust that divinity knows what it is doing. You are ready. Walk your pathway. What must I release to create an open space for this vision? Any sense of self-importance. You are not some separate being with a life outside of God. You are the flow of divinity. God is not more holy than you. You are God in this time and place. There is no separation at all. It is an illusion of the ego. Surrender ego and separation to God and allow them to dissolve. I think that applies to everyone. It's just a matter of whether you acknowledge or receive or understand yourself that way or not. What must I embrace to allow this vision? Your pathway, your calling to be yourself, oneness. What must I remember to stay on the path? The response, center yourself here. Seek first the kingdom of God, and everything you need shall be added unto you. That was a breathtaking and powerful experience for me. In April of 2011, somehow it just seemed to raise to a higher level still. I'm almost done with prac training. This time I wrote a purpose for the visioning session. Seeking divine guidance for the focus and clarity of my practitioner practice. I have to tell you, I was looking for a specific to-do list, a laundry list, things to foster, to take action on, boom, 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 boom. Kind of an engineering project. Spirit had a different idea. What is Spirit's highest vision for my practitioner practice? Response. Your highest purpose is to be a vessel of the Most High. Use your life to help people find and plant the seeds of their own redemption that they may know their wholeness, beauty, perfection, and peace. At this point, I saw a beautiful earthen urn with light glowing within and flowing out over the sides. Two large, powerful hands picked the urn up and poured the light over planet Earth and humanity and all life found here. Then I clearly heard a voice. You have found me, and I am you. Be thou my Rishi. Be thou my presence. Be thou my love. A few weeks after the session, I tried to paint the vision, which is on the next slide. You can tell I wasn't born to be an artist. What is the tone, feeling, or essence of this vision? My response, I feel empowered. Spirit then added this thought, your service is and will be as unbounded as you allow yourself to be. Trust me always. What must I become to empower this vision? There's nothing beyond who you already are that you must become. Rather, just allow yourself to move easily into the fullness of who you already are. Be the vessel. What must I release to be an open space for this vision? The response: surrender all of yourself to me. Divinity is who you are and who you have always been for all time. Remember, there is no fear in God. Trust me always. What must I embrace to allow this vision? Embrace and embody the joy of knowing that you are in full truth a vessel of the Most High. Be love and embrace the world. Embrace knowing that wherever you are, God is present in you, as you, always and forever. Know that as you are, so is everyone and everything. Is there anything else? What are the next steps? A song lyric came to mind. When you trust, love grows. When you trust, love heals and renews. That song lyric is from Tina Turner, which might surprise you. She is a very devout Buddhist in the latter stages of her life, and this is the kind of stuff she was recording after that happened. Then the voice again. Be love. Keep walking with spirit in trust and awareness. Respond to divine guidance with full attention and love. Trust your heart. You always know what to do and how to do it. Intuition is my voice within you. Trust it. You already know how to be my rishi, my joy, my presence, my love. Thou art my beloved son, filled with, embedded within my love. Joy and thanksgiving fill the heart of God as they fill your heart. Allow yourself joy. So those two experiences are two of the most beautiful and empowering interactions with divinity I've ever had. I've not shared with them with anyone but Marilyn until right now. I only share them now to demonstrate how powerful visioning can be in support of spiritual growth. You may be wondering what a rishi is. Rishi is a Sanskrit word that simply means sage or divine seer. Its roots are in the Hindu faith. There are a couple of points I've learned about visioning, so let's look at the next slide. Yes, I turned my page too quick. As my second visioning really demonstrated, the responses will be what you need, not necessarily what you thought you were asking for or expecting. Whoa, that's certainly, I know that one to be true. And the second thing, I know to be true that earthly life, this life each of us is in the midst of, is about soul evolution. That is why we are here. So the responses received during visioning often make more sense within that bigger context, especially if you're seeking something specific and something comes back that kind of blows you off your chair. Okay, the next slide is the last one. You guys will be pleased to know that. It's the accountability part. I've never experienced or heard of divine guidance along the lines of sit back and relax while I do a lot of great stuff for you. In fact, Dr. Holmes said, God can only do for you what God can do through you. And what God can do through you, you have a throttle that can cut that way back. The power of God is infinite. But if you don't experience the infinite, it's because you don't expect it, or because you don't think you deserve it, or it sounds too difficult or impossible, or whatever chatter your mind puts between you and the potential. So God can only do for you what you allow God to do through you. When we ask for divine guidance and inspiration, there's an implied willingness on our part to act upon the guidance that is given. So regardless of how divine guidance arrives, through visioning or a bolt of lightning or a song, something Maureen said to Troy, whatever it is, however guidance arrives, accountability is reflected in how we choose to respond. Our response is how soul evolution happens, or not. We get to make that choice. That's the accountability part of our interactions with divinity. If we choose not to take action, we've chosen to ignore the guidance and stay with the status quo. Sometimes the actions suggested by guidance are straightforward and easy, but not very often, is my experience. More often we'll be challenged to move beyond our comfort zone, sometimes way beyond the envelope of our life experience to date. Soul growth, soul evolution, spiritual growth happens when we move beyond our comfort zone. It requires us to trust spirit, trust the guidance, trust life, and most of all, and this might be the most difficult part, most of all, to trust our own capacities. Remember, our support is infinite, and we will never be asked to do more and be more than is possible for us. Let us pray. Beloved one, this morning we are so grateful for the process of visioning, for the capacity that lies within us to listen and not just talk to God, but let it be a conversation, let it be a dialogue. We give thanks for the power, the joy, the sense of direction, the sense of purpose that can come through the process of listening, however that looks for us, whether it's visioning or whether it's something else. So this morning, let us commit to listen. Let us commit to act upon the guidance. Let us commit to trust divinity, trust the guidance, and trust our own capacities. I know that this is possible. I know that there is great power awaiting the chance to flow through us when we choose to allow it. So we just give thanks for this truth and affirm the truth by saying together, and so it is.